Hello guys, in this video I will be making the creation of Adam in vanilla survival Minecraft, and it will be mounted here behind me on the wall with all of my other pixel arts. When you first Google any image of the creation of Adam, you can instantly notice that the proportions are not correct when it comes to Minecraft at least, because since everything is made with blocks, we need everything to be 1 by 1 or 1 by 2. We can't have commas because that means we would have to use half blocks. And if you bring up the calculator and you divide 640 by 294, you can see it's 1.17, which means that the picture is actually too wide horizontally. This essentially means that we have a few options. We could either leave it the way it is right now and have a white bar at the bottom or at the top and the bottom, or black or whatever solid color, but of course that would be very ugly. We could also stretch the entire thing out like this, but I feel like that would kind of be changing the artwork and it wouldn't stay true to what it's supposed to be, so I definitely don't want to do that. Another option is shortening it by cutting off pieces from the right and the left, but again I feel like that infringes on the artwork a little bit by, you know, removing a big chunk of it. So the last option, and this is also the option I'm gonna probably go for, is moving it to the middle of the image and then using the cloning tool in paint.net or Photoshop or whatever, cloning the image to make it bigger and fit inside of the screen. This way, like, we can keep the correct proportions we need to make it fit into Minecraft without actually removing or changing any of the artwork. We're just slightly adding onto it. This is also kind of easy because it's pretty much been done for us somewhat, because if you Google the creation of Adam resized and you scroll for a little bit, you can find a picture of the original artwork. You can see that it's actually a bigger painting, and like in most of the pictures you see a pretty decent chunk of it has been cut off. So this means I can use these pictures to copy on all of the parts I can't draw myself, because obviously I can clone the top part, it's just the same solid color, but I couldn't add this arm, for example, like here. This would be way too difficult. As you can see, I've already cloned a bit of the top. So I'll have to take my time and copy all of this and make sure I can have the full picture. Okay, I have made some progress. I have completely filled in the top. This is what the full picture will be like on the top. And on the bottom I have taken the bottom portion of this part of the picture where it's actual drawn stuff, and I've copied it here. But as you can see, obviously the colors are still incorrect. So what I have to do now, first of all, is to remove this part of this layer because it's already there on the other picture. Then select this part again, the part that I have to add on extra. Then afterwards I can go into adjustments, hue and saturation. I can turn the saturation down, and as you can see it starts matching the picture above way better. Then if I mess with the lightness a little bit as well, and if I just finick with this for a slight bit of time, you can see it's almost a perfect transition. Okay, so turns out it's actually very difficult to do that, at least for me, because I barely know anything about editing softwares. So I had a friend do it for me. As you can see, it's changed now, the color is matching. This is slightly more pixelated, it's lower quality, but we're all gonna sync this down to like pixelated quality anyway, because we have to transfer it into Minecraft, obviously. So I'm gonna do that right now. Okay, since I wanna do the picture in-game in 2x4 paintings, the height will have to be 256 because one painting is 128 pixels, which means the width will be 512. So if I resize this now, it's very small, and this is essentially what it will look like in game. It's kind of pixelated, but you know, it is Minecraft after all, and I'm pretty happy with how this is. Okay, I have the command prompt open right now. I need to type in cd and then the directory to the folder, type enter. Then I need to type in java jar, then map converter.jar, and then the name of the picture, which is adam.png. Now if I press enter, it should turn it into the schematics and post those in a map into the folder. Let's see if it works. Let's see, out, schematic. There we go. All these 6-inch schematics are the schematics for to make the map, and I think if I go to PNG, yeah, it posts a picture of all of the schematics separately, so I know which one is which. So I can go over in game now and post these there to see what it will look like. When you first use the program, it turns it into separate schematic folders. I turned all of those into Lightmatic folders, but I also made one with all of them combined. We can look at the material list for the complete thing. Of course, the glass can be removed because it's just the base, you don't need that. The block of diamond is just any block you'd have the most of. We need about 16 shulker boxes of that, so I'd probably use cobblestone or white concrete. The next one is cobweb, which will definitely be the hardest to collect in this whole project. Birchwood can easily be replaced with diorite, since it's just the side face. White terracotta will have to collect. Brewing stands can be removed, replaced with metal pressure plates. Sandstone is just sandstone or endstone, whichever one you have most of. And all of the wool types can be replaced with concrete, and since we have a concrete machine on our server, it shouldn't be too hard. Prismarine is easy as well. We have a guardian farm. Um, Clay I have plenty of. And yeah, it doesn't really seem like there are any other rare blocks in here. Now all I have to do is take a screenshot of the material list and with /setblock commands replace everything in here to what we were actually going to use, just so it's a little easier on us to collect the materials. You know, we'll have a clearer overview, and also when we're building it later, the schematic won't keep telling us we're wrong. So I'm gonna have to change this to diorite and do all of that real quick, but that shouldn't take too long. Okay, I have looked in my miscellaneous chest, and even though I have collected a bunch of clay, these are all of the cobwebs I have, so not even one shulker box, and I'm gonna need 11. So that's gonna take quite a while to gather all up. I guess I can go into amidst and find the mesa biomes, because they often have the mine shafts on the surface. So I can just go in there and collect as many of the cobwebs as possible. I guess that's what I'll have to do. Okay guys, so the first thing I want to collect is the cobwebs, because that will obviously take the longest. So I've come here to a mesa, and as you can see there are already like multiple mine shafts on the surface. There was one over there as well. Oh, there we go. And I got some shears with me, so I guess I'll just try to collect as many of the cobwebs as I can, and I'll tell you how much I got from this one mesa. Okay guys, I I just got attacked by a cave spider, and since we have a mob switch on, as you can see at the top of the screen there, the amount of hostile mobs is way over the limit. The only mobs that can spawn are mobs from spawners, which, if you're lucky and you find a cave spider spawner, you can have tons of free cobwebs that are just neatly piled into one area. You just have to get rid of the spawner real quick. Okay, I've just finished mining through like the first few mine shafts I came across. Most of them are like in this mountain here. This whole chunk I mined pretty much all of the cobweb in there, and as you can see there's still a lot to go. And I have about this many cobwebs, which is like almost a third of one shulker. So I think I'm definitely gonna have to clear out multiple mesas to get the 11 shulkers. I have been collecting cobwebs for the past few days, And I got our world open on Omits right now. Here's our spawn, and you can see the quad witch hut. I just raided this big mesa, and I'm fairly certain I got most of the cobwebs. It's about one shulker box. But I noticed something, which is if you go to layers, you can turn on mineshaft icons. So I can literally mesas to get the 11 shulkers, so it'll take a while. Close to our house, figure out where a mineshaft is, go to the exact coordinates, which you get if you click on it, and then just dig straight down and go there. So I think I'm gonna use that tactic next to collect cobwebs, because doing the mesa thing is very slow. So yeah, I'll see you guys when I have 11 shulkers of it, I guess. Okay guys, so it has been pretty much an entire month. Actually, in the top left, in my mini HUD, you can see the actual date. And I have finally collected all of the cobwebs we would need. It's taken me, well, it's the 30th right now. I finished it on the 26th. I think I started on the 25th, so it was like a month and a day. But right now I have 11 shulker boxes and almost a half, and I needed 11.2, so that's enough now. Also, this is some of the extra loot I got. I got 9 of these enchanted golden apples, which you can't craft anymore, so they are very valuable. And I got like this much emerald ore. It's not really that important. What I need to do next now is collect white concrete, which that'll be very easy considering we have a concrete farm. I'll go there right now and I'll show you. Okay, so I'm in the end right now. You got our portal here. This thing right here is the concrete farm. It's somewhere like under here. It's kind of hard to see. It makes about 200,000, now more than 200,000 concrete per hour, and we left it on for like 3 days, so we have a couple million concrete. So I could just take whatever I need of the white one, which was, if I check the list real quick, 17 shulker boxes. Let's just take 18, so that's 9, 18. There we go. Okay, the next block we need, in very huge quantity, is diorite, which we need 11 shulker boxes of. Only problem is, in my actual storage, this is all the diorite I have. Now, it is replaceable though. If you look here, the color that shows up on the map when you have diorite is the same color as the side of the birch log, but I feel like that would be more difficult to collect than the actual diorite. Or quartz blocks, or sea lanterns. Now, I'll check sea lanterns, so I have quite a few of those, but definitely not, what was it, 17? No, 11 shulker boxes. So I guess I'll go to the witch farm real quick and check how much diorite we have there from digging out the trenches. Okay, I have arrived at the witch farm right now. Just wanted to show this off real quick. But when we dug out this perimeter, obviously we didn't dig it out by hand. We just dug out the trenches so we could have the smooth walls. But that alone gave us quite a bit of materials. And now for the rest we used a world eater, if you were wondering. Yeah, we haven't completely set up the collection yet. It's kind of working, but not really. But here we have the materials we collected. All of this is stone. Oh yeah, you can see here diorite. We have six and a half, almost 6.5 shulker boxes of that. So I'm gonna take those already, because we'll need that. I might have to actually go out and mine for diorite unless someone else on the server has some spare. So I'll go check that right now. Okay, I thought showing how I got all the materials would be kinda boring, so I just went ahead and got all of them. I'll go into the schematics and show you what I did. So, first of all of the concretes, all of the concretes we got from the concrete farm. All of the terracottas, I just went to a mesa and mined all of them. And then there's not really much left anyway. The cobweb I showed you, the diorite I showed you, the weighted pressure plates, we have an iron farm. For the sandstone we have a sand farm. The planks I mined, we have a guardian farm, that's how I got the bricks. Oak wood planks, I mined. Spruce, we have a farm. Actually, oak we do as well. Clay, that's the only way to get that is to go out in the world and actually get that, but since this is not the first pixel art I make, I already had a bunch of that collected from when we dug the perimeter for the witch farm. I took out all of the clay first. Stone, you can just use cobblestone as well. I'm gonna change that in the final schematics when I actually build it. So we just have a cobblestone farm, so that's how we got that. Netherrack, I mean, it's barely anything, I just had that laying around. The white wool and the diamonds, that's just converted, or not converted properly. This is supposed to be prismarine and this is supposed to be white concrete, so those will be fixed in the final product as well. The grass block, barely anything, again, I just went out and mined it, and the gold for the pressure plates I just had laying around. So in case anyone cared, that's how I got all the materials. I made a mob switch for the end up here. There's just a bunch of, yeah, you can see on the top 327 Endermen loaded over there in the distance with this insta line. That's how they're loaded. So no new mobs can spawn, because when you're building the thing, the Enderman could actually spawn and pick up the clay. So I'm just gonna go to where I'm gonna build the farms now and show you all the materials. Another common misconception I see is people who think that when you zoom out the maps, you get a higher resolution map, which is just untrue. You can see I have a map right here, and if I just fill in this area with concrete, there we go, it filled it in now. So this map should be white, exactly. Apart from the top row, of course, that's why you need an extra bit at the top. But if I place a block down here right now and look at it on the map, it's 1 pixel. And the thing beneath it is just its shadow, but every block I place is 1 pixel, right? And if I zoom this map out on the crafting table, you'll get a map like this. Now it's 1/4 the size, right? But the amount of pixels stays exactly the same. So it covers more area, it covers more ground. That is correct. But it doesn't have more pixels in the map itself. That's not how it works. Because as you can see, the red dots are gone now. Because it actually needs 4 blocks right now to make 1 pixel. Which, if you find the chunk borders, you can line them up correctly. If I place 4 of them down right here and right now, see, it becomes 1 block. So zooming out the map just means you need more blocks for the same amount of pixels on your finished painting, on the map you'll actually be holding. So zooming out maps you shouldn't do it. It's not very smart, because it'll just, look at this, it'll just take the surrounding ones. You'll just get a lower resolution image in the bottom left, unless you fill a bigger area, but that's just useless. So you don't zoom out your maps. The normal beginning sized map is always the best one. These are the 2 pixel arts I've already done, the Karl Marx and Ataturk. This is the Ataturk one, this is Karl Marx. And here on this wall are all of the materials I'll need for the creation of Adam, for all 8 of them. I kind of color coded them, so you got the cobwebs, concrete, diorites, and white terracotta, and then like just all of the miscellaneous stuff. I think this right here, this colored patch should be terracotta and like wood and random stuff, and all of this should be concrete, or almost all of it. Yeah, the clay's here as well. But it's kind of separated. It's somewhat sorted, and that should help me with building everything. Okay, so I just got the schematic, the finished one, the end one. All I have to do now is set it in place. So I need to go 8 chunks in that direction to start with. Just placing a line of white concrete like this to start off, so I'll do that and be right back. Okay, I built the thing, and I got a stick with me as well to control the schematic. Now I can go into load schematics, do part 1. Alright, let's just quickly fly up as well to see if it's oriented correctly. It should be, like it should always be oriented correctly, but just to make sure. Yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be. Now we just gotta kind of fit it in properly. Now the only problem is, as you can see, it starts up high there, so I might have to build one of these on the other side as well to be able to build this easily, because the way it is now, it's gonna be pretty difficult, I think. So I'll do that as well. Then I'll start building it, and I'm gonna time how long each one of them takes, so you guys can get an estimate of how long it would take if you want to build one of these. So I'm gonna do that now. Okay, so I thought I would show you how I did this. I just have a a setting in Lightmatica where if I click on a block, like while it's next to another block, it just instantly picks that out of my inventory and places it down. So it's very easy to just go along and place all of this. Obviously right now it's still easy because I can maneuver my way around here because I'm under the other one. But later on this is gonna of course become way more difficult. Also I have the easy place things for I think it's Tweakeroo that does this. I'm not really sure, which makes it so I can place diagonally like this as well, which of course helps a lot. I feel like if you wanted to do this without those mods, you'd probably spend like days doing just one, as in like continuous days. So I definitely recommend getting these mods if you wanna try this for yourself. Oh yeah, another tip I could give is if you don't have the mods, don't try. I think I've already said that. But also, if you're gonna do this in the end, like I'm doing, do it with an elytra and a bunch of rockets, spare elytra, maybe spare rockets. Make sure you have everything that when you fall down you don't get fucked over, because the last thing you'd want is having all of the cobwebs you fought so hard for to get fall into the void and delete it. And also, if you're gonna not do it in the end and do it in real life, which it would be easier in some regards, you wouldn't have to make a mob switch and whatnot. But don't do it somewhere where it can snow, because if it starts snowing, your whole map will be filled with white spots and it'll be annoying to get rid of it. Also, I recommend just having a normal mob switch though. I mean, even though it's not necessary, it'll be a lot easier to be able to work through the night and not have creepers blow everything up. So yeah, those are just a few tips. Another thing you should do is have the jump boost from the beacons. You only need 2 beacons, which you'll have to replace every now and then. It's definitely not that much work, and it'll help you a lot, especially with the cobwebs, because without it you won't be able to do that, what I just did. Same with the offset placement. I really do recommend getting everything I have, because if you'd want to do this manually, it take a long time. Okay guys, so I finished the first one just now. Before I do anything, I should stand here and stop the stopwatch. I'm gonna count up all of the hours, because obviously I did this in separate sessions, and I'll tell you how much the first one took. So I'll do that right now. Okay, so I just finished calculating it. Here again you can see the first one out of the 8. It took 11 hours, 51 minutes and 12 seconds. That's for just this one. It'll probably be a bit longer for this one, because as you can see, the more white there is, the more cobweb there is, and the cobwebs are really annoying to place because obviously you slow down in them and you have to jump and stuff. And this one is almost only sky and just a bit of the arm, so this one will probably be more annoying, and then after that it should slowly get easier. These are all of the resources that are left, if you want to see. There not much has changed apart from a lot of the cobwebs have gone, concrete, diorite, and a bit of the white terracotta. Not that much since it's only this little part here. But all of the blocks that I have in smaller quantities are pretty much the same still. Okay guys, so it has been about 4.5 months since I started this. But this right here, this ghost block in the schematic you see right now, is the last block I have to place for this whole thing to be finished. So there we go. Now I can just run the verifier to make sure. The only extra block is that glass block up there. That's it. Oh my god. I'm gonna go grab the map now to refresh it, and then I'll show you the actual final product as well. Before I show the final result, I thought I could show you the timings for each map first real quick. I'll have them on the screen right now. You can see since the fourth one we updated to 1.12, and the new Lightmatica version just permanently had the easy place mode on for me, which made it a lot easier to place all the blocks obviously. And I actually kinda liked it, I kept on using it. Even though I didn't really have a choice. So that's why the times got drastically shorter near the end. But yeah, this should give you an idea of how long it'll take you. And also, since a lot of people will probably say that this is fake and we didn't actually do it, I have the last painting. I fully recorded the whole thing at 6 FPS, sped it up times 10, and I'll upload that in its entirety to YouTube. I'll link it in the description so you can see I did actually do it in survival, and it's not just pasted in with commands or whatever. Here it is. Here's the final finished painting. I'm gonna go grab these copies I have now and actually put it in the painting room. Oh yeah, and since it's taken 4.5 months, we also have a central storage now, so I thought I might as well put it in there as well. So yeah, I'll do that now and that'll be it. There we go. It's done. It's on the wall. It's finished after 4.5 months of doing this. It's finally done. God, I can't even believe it. Okay, let's put this in the main storage now. Okay, so here is the last part. There we go. Now it's finished, and it's also in our temporary central storage. So I guess that's it. Now I can work on our spawn.